First time I fell in love, it was back in the day on vacay with fam to show FLA. Arrived at the spot for the night, weekend late. Crept down to the small hotel arcade. Scanned the room for a cabinet to grab my attention like my name was Derek H at E3. To my surprise, my eyes were wide open, who can say the cause of this fall? All I had to do was play. Look at those graphics, I'm acting like I was blind before. And on the very same day I became a graphics whore. I mean the colors and the sprites, how they scale so smooth, I'm ashamed. I never thought I'd be that dude. You Suzuki, son, I wish that I could convey what you did to young S, man. I wish I could pay for a collection of your classics on Xbox One. But you're in bed with Sony now, so that dream is done. Remember when games were nice and you would roll the dice on price? Without all of the Sony hype, I just might have to generationally fight through these idiots and fanboys to survive the night. Take flight before Sony commences the bite. No original idea since the Walkman. Like every game at E3 is the same as before. You'll be waiting 4 years till it's up in the store. The year 2009, the place LAE3. Wait, the sun had a megaton for everyone to see. Anticipating Team Ico's next masterpiece at least. Status quo, Sony's press are built on hyperbole. To release 2 years later on the PS3. Can it be? Nope. Delayed because of hardware difficulties. Now push the PS4 in 21-2. The hype is gone already, Sony. Now what you gonna do? 2015 rolls around and it's E3 once again. We get a visit from a very familiar old friend. They show us what they've been doing for the past 8 years. Of course the crowd full of fanboys, nothing but cheers. The footage kinda looked like PS3 to me. Kinda rough, a lot of jaggies, not impressive to see. I want this lesson to be too much too soon. The way of the buffoon, wasted hyperbole. Remember when games were nice and you would roll the dice on price? Without all of the Sony hype, I just might have to generationally fight through these idiots and fanboys to survive the night. Take flight before Sony commences the bite. No original idea since the Walkman. Like every game at E3 is the same as before. You'll be waiting 4 years till it's up in the store. Remember when games were nice and you would roll the dice on price? Without all of the Sony hype, I just might have to generationally fight through these idiots and fanboys to survive the night. Take flight before Sony commences the bite. No original idea since the Walkman. Like every game at E3 is the same as before. You'll be waiting 4 years till it's up in the store. Whoa, that's loud. Loud, 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 loud. What up, y'all? It's the R9 Cast, the official Blind Dish of Kung Crystal, super dope show for Reservoir9.com, representing allgames.com. I'm your host, Stevie D. Gibson, aka Esgee, aka Electron Bandit, aka the guy who's super fly. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's the intro. I guess that's how that goes. Go like that, and I'll leave that there. And yeah, if you gotta buy some on Amazon, go to allgames.com, hit the Amazon banner, help them out, help us out, them and us, because we are the same. We are two in the same. I don't know. I need my optical. Actually, it's not even clearer, but it relaxes my eyes, so that's why I use it. I don't know if I'm actually hurting my eyesight. I might be. Who cares? Y'all don't. Thank you, everybody that did me a happy birthday and stuff on my text messages. Y'all that have my numbers and on the Facebooks. I appreciate it. Did you see the little dude? Did you see the little? Y'all want to check out the newest member of the R9 crew? Go to my Instagram, Lord Esgee, LordEsgee, and your boy is there. His name is Lil Stevie. He was born on my birthday. Not narcissist, I'm just saying. It just made sense to me. And yeah, so I did that, and yeah, it's cool. It's awesome. It's dope. It's all those things. Billy Ok's in chat. Doompleg's in chat. Zubba Zubba 5th Junior's in chat. Pace is probably in chat somewhere, causing problems. Tiger Club might not be. What's today? Sunday? He's probably, yeah, he's there. Derek H is always there. He's like, he is like the wizard behind the curtain. Always, forever there. So, today was one of those days, like, I don't feel like doing nothing. I'ma just watch movies. And Bridget was there too. So I watched Alice Through the Looking Glass, because I saw the first one and I was like, wow, that's a really good score, Danny Elfman, you did a good job. The movie was it was Alice in Wonderland. And then the second one, but I never knew. You see, okay, here's the thing. I don't know what the second one's about. Never read the book. Never read the first book either. But I did not know. I don't know if Alice Through the Looking Glass, the movie adaptation from Disney, is like the book. I did not know this was a time traveling movie thing. Although they didn't do it that well, because there was only one paradox. I like Sandra. What's his name? Barry Cohen. Campbell Cohen. What? What are you doing? I closed the door so that... Whatever. I don't think she understands how studios work. You don't understand how studios work. Thank you. Now she understands. Anyway, yeah, that's a time travel movie. So if you guys like time travel movies, this one isn't the best, but it's all right. Danny Elfman did the movie. I think he phoned this one in, kinda, because he had the Alice theme, which is the best one and everything. But anything else, I was like, she went back in time. She went back and forward in time. And then she went back in time again. Then the Queen of Hearts went back in time. It's crazy. All over a cookie. All over some crumbs. It's crazy. So crazy. It was kind of cool to get a little backstory though. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's watch that. And then we watched. I was like, I can either watch. Well, we watched the 25th anniversary BET Awards, dude. I'm sorry. Let me take that back, because that was racist. It was the 25th anniversary of Def Comedy Jam, which is way different than the BET Awards. Def Comedy Jam, 25th anniversary. Russell Simmons was there, and the other two dudes that created the show. Martin was there. Everybody was there.
except for Bernie Mac, because he's no longer a flesh meat bag. And others, there's some others that passed away too. But that was funny. Dave Chappelle and D.L. Hewley. I don't know when this came out. I just saw it and I was like, oh, let me watch this. He messed up. Okay, Dave Chappelle like messed up a line. He said, hold on, let me go back. 10 minutes later, they actually, because they just kept going and going and ripping and just, it was funny. It was fun. Those parts of the show when they're not reading the teleprompter, hilarious. So good. Let me see something here. Let me see that thong. Let me see that thong, thong, thong. When Cisco come back, gonna that was words. Okay, here. When is Cisco gonna come back in words again? When is Cisco? You know, when I say Cisco, y'all say Drew Hill, Cisco, Drew Hill. That's Cisco. Drew Hill, Cisco. When is he finna come back? That's my question. You know? Don't you miss? He was good. He should come back again, cause he got skills. He got skills. Like I was watching the Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary. I was like, these fools are hilarious. Martin Lawrence was probably. I think Martin Lawrence was funnier than Eddie Murphy. I said it. I bet you don't believe me. You probably don't believe me. I'ma say Martin Lawrence was funnier than Eddie Murphy. That's what I'm saying. Because I forgot. I mean, I didn't forget, but I got a refresher course today, just a little bit. And him just hosting the Def Comedy Jam, him just hosting Def Comedy Jam was hilarious. And he would just so funny. And Bridget doesn't like that because there's too many F words and M words and MF words and just bad words. She didn't like it, but I was laughing my head. It was so funny. Oh man, it's so funny. When he cracked off Flavor Flav be there and Roach would be like, "Daddy." It was funny. No, he said Flavor Flav so ugly, Roaches be like, "Daddy." That's what he said. I already messed up the joke. It doesn't matter. But it was. If y'all got Netflix and y'all aren't offended by bad words, please watch that. If there are any millennials in the audience listening to my voice, watch Def Comedy Jam. Watch the 25th anniversary of Def Comedy Jam. It's on Netflix. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's very, very urban, if you will. If it's urban, if you want to put it in that context. But it's funny. I was like, I miss this. What was that? I miss HBO for that. Oh, I pressed a button. I miss HBO for that, but they don't have that now. I mean, they don't have Def Comedy Jam now, but I think I might go find me a Blu-ray of. I mean, it wasn't HD. It was taped. I think it was all taped. So, it looked kind of crappy because a lot of the old footage was super fuzzy. So, 720p maybe. No, actually, that was 470. That's 480p. That's like old stuff. Yeah, they didn't use film. That's all video stuff. But yeah, I think I might have to go dig that stuff. I might have to look on Amazon. Like, yo, let me get the best of Martin Lawrence on Def Con. I gotta get me some because I got one of his audio CDs. Martin Lawrence. It's funny. It's like because like his audio CDs that he was doing like around the same time or whatever, or maybe a little bit after. Are different. His material is different. He never recycled his material on his like CDs and stuff. Well, of course you don't. But he never did. That's like the stuff he did on Def Comedy Jam was all kind of just working the crowd and stuff. So it wasn't like anything that he had written or anything. He was just a freaking mad genius. So funny. Oh, oh my! It made me happy. And then after that, we watched. For some reason, I was like, let me watch a little Joe Dante. He's a good director, kind of, sort of. So we watched Inner Space. Because, who doesn't want to see Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan kissy pooing it all up before, not a divorce, but you know what I'm saying. And then now you look at him today, like Dennis Quaid was a handsome fellow. He's still a handsome older man. You know, he still kept it together. He still got muscles and stuff. He work out. Meg, I think she fell into that trap. I think she fell hard. And you can get a little adjust, little tweakies, but when you take it too far, you don't look real. And that's what I think happened with her. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let me pull up some Meg Ryan pictures. Where you at, Meg Ryan? Let's see. Did it? Meg Ryan. Today. Boop. Oh, she's not as bad as I thought. Images. Yeah, she had works. Yeah, it's I think the lips and the cheeks and oh man. Okay, I take it back. Yeah, she did a little bit too much. She did so people going funny with Photoshop. Yeah, she did a little too much. She should have kept it real. Keep it real, girl. Keep it real. I mean, even Goldie Hawn has done some stuff, but she's a lot older. But Meg Ryan was alright. I liked her in that movie. She's alright. She's no who would you compare Meg Ryan is kind of unique. Like what I liked her in When Harry Met Sally. That was probably the best movie she was in. Her best portrayal of him. Because I don't think Joe Dante. He's a goofy director. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about movies. We're talking about video games. Why? Because the X is out in a window time. The X. The X. Are y'all realizing what's happening in video games right now? Now I'm gonna take to heart what Pace and Billy and everybody else who call me Xbot say. How I'm always words. Words aren't today. Today aren't words. I'm always hating on Sony, blah blah blah, right? So what has been happening besides that, the Black Friday deal's been sneaking like, hey, Black Friday's coming. Oh hey, and I'm like, okay, well, what you got? So across the board, everybody, $189.99 Xbox One S, $199.99 PS4. And I'm like, let me look at my wallet. Okay, can I? I have about half the money for a PS4 right now. Not gonna get the Pro because the Pro's not $199, and $199 versus $399. That's half the price. That's the same, you know. I'm like, why would I spend twice as much for a little bit of incrementation? I wouldn't, right? So I'm really thinking hard about getting me a PS4 this Black Friday. If I could find one of them quote unquote doorbuster deals, but whatever. So that's one thing. I'm like, I might do that. Maybe. I have to go to Target. I have a gift card for Target, so I might have to go to Target. And I'm sure they'll be there, I guess. I mean, they're $199, so a lot of people might be having the same idea as me, but I don't know. So I'm not gonna buy an S because I'm gonna get the X in probably January. You know what I mean? So I might get a PS4 because it's cheap. If I don't get it now, I'll get it next fall. That's how important it is. I'm like, I'll get that. I'll get Horizon Zero Dawn or something. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That's all. That's it. And that's all. Uncharted. Yeah, I get that probably too. There's a few games. There's a handful of games I get for the PS4, but it is literally an exclusive machine. There's nothing else I can really do with it. Can't play any Blu-rays on it. Even though there was a article about something with the article made it sound like the 4K Blu-ray player on the Xbox One X was totally broken. It's a disaster. I'm like, okay. And then they're just talking about, the color, the darks aren't as dark. They're a little washed out. But I'm like, y'all are so flame baity, inflammation wars. I mean, really? You know they could just update that, right? That's software, right? That's the 10. They got the 10 bits all scrambled. That's all. Just adjust that stuff, man. Come on, son. If they could give the PS4 basic HDR, you don't think they could tweak the HDR on these new consoles? Come on, son. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. So I was like, oh man, what happened? Oh no. And then there was another article, right? And this is why I have like the rhetoric towards Sony, because people have this idiotic negative rhetoric for Microsoft, and I know part of it is clickbait because it's cool to hate on Microsoft, and so they're feeding into that. And so if they do that, then they'll get more clicks. I know how it works, but still, reality is that everybody's going this way, everybody's going the X way. So I'm just saying. But anyway, another article, I forgot who did it. They were like, oh, I gotta pull up. It's like, oh, Sony's number one at this and that and the third. I gotta look it up because I can't remember what it was. But I was like, what? That's not right. Didn't seem right. Really? Okay. What's going on here, Cortana? Why aren't you giving me my news? Don't make me get up. I guess that's the one. There it is. So I'm gonna read the headline. And you guys tell me if this isn't like clickbait or whatever. So, and the headline on like the list of it cuts off the end. So it goes, PlayStation leads again, but Xbox rises in October as 102.3 million gaming, and then it cuts it TV or something like cuts it off. The thing is TV ad spend. So I was like, what? Wait, what's that mean? So I had to read it. I was like, oh, Sony spent more money on ads. Is basically the story, right? And this is the breakdown. How much Sony spent versus Microsoft. So the total was 102. PlayStation led the way. They spent 33.3 million, right? Xbox spent 29.8 million. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, they spent more, but is that something to brag about? It's like, oh yeah, I spent more. Did it actually work? Did it gain? Like the brand aired 10 spots over 3,600 times, generating 1.1 billion TV ad impressions. That was for Xbox for 29.8, and the PlayStation 33.3. They spent more and they had 19 spots versus the 10 spots, right? Aired 4,500 times versus the 3,600 times. 1.2 billion impressions, and Xbox had 1.1 billion. So right there, they spent way more. They spent way more, and got a marginal effect. They had almost 1,000 times, aired 1,000 more times. Some marginal, 100,000. That's it. I mean, 100 million. That's it. I mean, yeah, I did that right. So, stuff like that. I'm like, well, it's just so frustrating. That's all. It's like I shouldn't get frustrated about that because it doesn't matter about the ad stuff, but it's just, once again, it's the flame war tactic for these sites, and the sites are what's propagating the flame war. Only because they know that fans will do it, so they're pandering to the most popular, the winning team, if you will. But right now, things are about to change. I mean, I guess that's the Xbox's motto now. But I was like, okay, whatever. That's better than greatness awaits, because y'all gonna be awaiting for at least another 2 years. I'll say 3 to be safe, because the way the prices about on the AMD stuff, you're gonna be waiting a minute. And Xbox One X is ready. The X One X is ready for 3 years from now. You know? Yeah. That's the thing. And they'll get more, they'll find little ways to cheat it. Like checkerboarding is a cheat that does affect the clarity of the imaging. And I'm not just saying on the PS4 side, I'm just saying all around, you know, PC, X1X, and the Pro. So, I mean, that's something they can implement if they want to make a certain game like super, like, oh man, look at these visuals, they're crazy, and they use checkerboarding to, you know, alleviate some of the GPU stuff. But the way that the X1X is built, they're getting like 50. They're getting at least 50% more performance out of the same games. You know, and that's, you know, texture filtering, you know, quality of the texture resolution, frame rate. You know, you can't go wrong with it. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate it. But excuse me. Oh man, why is Cortana's tripping right now? Let me see if there's. I don't think I wrote down anything to talk about. And like I said, I don't want to talk negative about Sony because I was thinking heavily today about buying PS4, not a Pro, just regular. Yeah. What? Oh, anyway. Oh, I'm not signed in. That's why, son of a bastard. I tell you what, man. That's why. I don't know why my phone's acting stupid. I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. And so, oops. What the hell? Oh, there we go. Yes, there we go. PS4 news. Destiny 2 gets PS4. Oh, see, NZ Gamer, they must be fanboys because they put PS4 Pro first. That was another thing I noticed, that there's some, there are some outlets that are putting the Xbox in front of the PS4. As far as, you know, they usually put the most popular or the hottest or the most zeitgeistiest console name first, and then, you know, they kind of go down the line by popularity. And the X1X has been popping up first in a few occasions, so that's something to think about, right? And I watched the Digital Foundry thing on Doom for the Switch. Yeah, I guess if you have a Switch, you wanna watch that. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't mean like that. I'm just saying it's like, it's a little fuzzy. It reminds me of that. I'm not gonna say it. See, I was about to say it, and I'm not gonna say it because I said I'm not said. What's up, DevNel44? How you doing? Appreciate it. Sorry, I just noticed you there. Sorry, my bad. Super Mario Odyssey and Xbox One. Forbes has put a lot of video game news. I don't know what's up with that. Top new games out. I've been looking at just all of the different Digital Foundry comparisons, and I think they patched the Titanfall 2 already, so that's not a problem either. They were like, oh, Titanfall 2 sucks. It's better on the Pro, and now it's not because super patched. Oh yeah, we had a couple of ones and zeros on the wrong places. There you go. Better than ever. All they have to do is like not make the dynamic resolution go all the way up to 6K. Come on, don't be greedy. And then EA said, let's buy you. And they bought Respawn. Fracking. Why? Is anybody else not happy about Respawn being bought by EA? I think Zampella was better off at Activision, honestly. Even though Destiny's a little bit of a mess right now, I have fears about Anthem. Let's put it that way. Speaking of EA, that Black Friday deal, I might get Andromeda. I might get Mass Effect Andromeda for like $15 or whatever it is. It's like mad cheap. So I'm like, yeah, boy. Yeah, there's no X1X bundles this holiday, which is fine because they need to make that money. I mean, PS4 Pro's been out for a year. They better try to sell them. And that's the thing about the X1X is that you don't need to put it in a bundle. You don't need to incentivize people to buy it like that because of what it is. It's a beast. It's a beast. So Rolling Stone put HDR support coming to Destiny 2 on Xbox One X and PS4 Pro next month. So they're one of the outlets that put the Xbox first. And also, The Verge just put Xbox. The thing about Mafia 3 to render at 1728p on Xbox One X will be the only version to support HDR. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Exclusive HDR-ness. Uh-oh. I wish it was a better game. But the thing of Destiny, what's up with Bungie? I mean, is it really that their deal with Sony is hindering the X1X's version? Is that the actual reality? You know, I know they said, "Oh, the CPU, you can't do it," and I'm like, there are at least 2 games right now that is doing it. If you do dynamic resolution, you could get to 4K, 60 frames, because there are a lot of games that are doing that. I mean, Forza, yeah. Halo 5, yeah. Wolfenstein, yeah. I mean, these aren't like little pushover indie games. This isn't Mantis Racing. You know, these are real games. AAA, big time games. So, what is this saying? The Xbox One X has made this Kinect accessory surge in sales. Oh, the plug. I might have to. I need to get the plug for my PC. Oh, they got headphones. Yeah, it's a lot of X1X news, which is cool. Oh yeah, Gears of War 4 is super enhanced. You could do 60 frames on that too, or 4K. What is this? N4G. I'm not even gonna read that one because they're fucking. You know what they are. And then it's yeah, the bricking issues. Oh, the X1X suffers bricking issues. It's like a power cable. It's like, I mean, like a small percentage aren't the power cable, but it's power cable. So switch that out with your old from your S or whatever, and you're good. How much a power cable? Like $10, $5? Come on, son. I think it uses the same one as the PS4, if I'm not mistaken. So, and now, if you haven't noticed, so if y'all remember, right, back in the day, well, earlier this year when the Xbox One X is announced, and like, oh, most powerful. Now, why do I need that? I don't even have a 4K TV. And everybody in the media, all these media knuckleheads, they're stupid. I feel like smacking the internet sometimes, but I can't because I have no power and I don't want it. Dev now says, pick me up my Xbox One X the other day. We'll give it to the boy for Christmas. Oh man, you're the best. You're the best parent ever. That is a good gift. That is a very good gift. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I have patience. It's not like the X is gonna change or transform or be worse. They don't do the PlayStation. Okay, I'm gonna stop at that. I almost dissed the PlayStation again. But I mean, you know, they did take out the emotion chip and make the PS3 kind of whacker. So I'm just saying, facts. I'm not trying to diss. I'm just saying that's what they did. And Microsoft doesn't do that. No, stop it, Cortana. So yeah, that's a good gift right there. But yeah, the TVs, right? So I went to, I think I went to Best Buy. I was looking at the TVs. Like, okay, you know, they got the super high end stuff, thousands of dollars, and then they got the low end stuff, maybe 1 or 2 1080p TVs. Everything else is 4K. right? They're really not making 1080p's anymore. Not really. And these freaking things. I was looking at the Black Friday stuff. I'm like, they have a 55-inch Toshiba 4K for $280. I'm like, probably not HDR. Then I looked again. Some more stuff. HDR, $399, $450. I'm like, this is super cheap stuff right here. So all of those knuckleheaded journalists that were there, like, oh man, nobody's gonna have 4K. Nobody's gonna have. What if I don't have a 4K? If you don't have a 4K, what are you spending your money on? Because they're not that expensive anymore. I mean, people who are early adopters spent thousands of dollars. Yeah, it's crazy. But you can walk into any store right now, put down $500, walk out with 4K. Period. If you want a little bit more better, you add a couple hundred on that. Spend $6. You're good. Spend $7. You're good. So there's no excuses now. You can't. There's no excuses. And the fact that they said that, I mean, it's like the internet never forgets. So to me, they said all those things. They're supposed to be professionals. They're supposed to be the people in the know, right? For the uninformed, for the uninitiated. But I'm a skeptic, so I'm like, whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. Sure, yeah, it might go that way. I doubt it. And I go to the stores and I look to see what's for sale. And what's for sale dictates what people will buy. Tiger Claws in chat said, SG, the problem with 4K is the cheaper 4Ks do not have a key feature, which is HDR. Here's the thing you don't realize, Tiger Claw. And a lot of people don't realize. You're right in that the HDR, but the TVs that don't have 4K have better color and contrast ratio. They just look better than the older TVs. Like you take a 1080p screen, which is SDR, and you take a 4K screen, same size, whatever. It's the contrast ratio. I mean, you can look at the contrast. Like before HDR was a term, people would look at and say, "Hey, what's the contrast ratio on that?" Which is basically asking, "What's the dynamic range on that?" You know what I'm saying? People used to the video files used to be like, "What is it?" And they've gone so far up, like it's ridiculous. And the video files will complain about like the Xbox One X 4K Blu-ray player. Like, oh man, it sucks because the blacks are too gray. And I'm like, they can fix that. It's not a. Does it play the movies? Okay, then that's a step in the right. You complaining about the gray content and okay, whatever. I guess that's it. Is your TV calibrated right? It's like, oh yeah, calibrated, and it got a little better, but still, I'm like, whatever. It sounds like he's just trying to find something to complain about. But the cheaper 4Ks are what a lot of people are gonna buy, and they're going to enjoy it. Like we got a 4K, right? So I got the old TV right here. It's a 1080p piece of hot garbage TV, but it's 1080p. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just cool. We put the 4K in there. No HDR, but it's way better than this one, which is it's not hot garbage, but it's like this monitor right here, Dell monitor. This is a computer monitor. You can't see it in, but the black colors on the TV are better than this computer monitor. And this is a newer monitor. I just got this one. So you gotta kind of Pace says, SG, can you ask Shadow Next Gen if he's playing his Xbox One X on a 4K TV or not? Shadow Next Gen can answer that. Shadow Next Gen, are you playing your One X on a 4K TV or not? I don't think it matters because the power will make any TV scream. As long as the image comes up, it's like, oh my gosh, look at those textures, so juicy. That's what it says. That's what it says, kinda. But yeah, so like the 4K TV attach rate, the 4K TV saturation rate, ubiquitation. That's a word, right? Ubiquitation of the USA. Let's just say USA for right now, because I don't know I don't know how it works out in other countries and stuff. I live in the USA. I don't talk about that. So the 4K liquefaction, not ubiquitation. That's the word. Among the households, this year is the jump off. Is the I will say the official jump off. Like last couple of years was like, oh, early adopters. Last year was kind of like, okay, and again, that Samsung wasn't that bad, 800 or whatever. This year, 280, 3, 4, 5. You could get a decent one for like 657. I mean, a real decent one, not like a cheap, not like the one we got. What we got is like hot garbage. Don't buy it. You know what I mean? If you want like all the HDR and all the bing bongs and the boop. And I said, you know what? We'll buy this now, right? We'll have it for a year. I was gonna say like this year we could get it, but I was like, nah, I gotta get the X first. And then, which is good, right? I get the X, I'll throw it on that one, like, oh, that looks good. And then when I get a real good TV, throw it on that, it's like a brand new system all over again because I got super HDR. You know what I mean? So, well, that's just what I'm doing. And by the time next year rolls around, Black Friday, we're gonna have super deals, super more better TVs. You know what I'm saying? That's the good thing about the TV market is that it's not like the PC and the video card market where they're doing all that freaking Bitcoin mining and stuff, and it's screwing up the graphic card market for AMD because they're buying up all the AMDs to do this freaking to build those rigs so they can farm for Bitcoins or wherever they are, and it's dumb. I'm like, and it's messing up the market. So now all the AMD GPUs or APUs or whatever, I think it's just GPUs. They're like out of stock. The prices are way high. So that's another reason why the PS5 isn't coming out anytime soon, because the price is going to be too high, because the prices right now are too high because of that cryptocurrency farming. And I don't know if y'all realize that, but that's directly connected to the fate of the PS5 moving forward, is that cryptocurrency farming industry, and AMD's tied to it because their card is most sought out after by these guys who are building these crazy rigs with freaking 7 cards put together, and it's crazy. So Tiger Claw says, SG, I heard the Xbox One S can overheat. Yeah, if you muffle it with a pillow or put it in a plastic bag or something. Pace says, SG, I heard the Xbox One X has powering on issues. Yeah, just replace the cable. It has some, I guess, power cable issues. And that's another reason why I'm not buying it right away, because they have, like, launches always have a little bit of issues. So I'm like, yeah, y'all can work that out. I'll see y'all in a few, I mean, I don't know what the PS4 Pro had issue-wise, because I don't think anybody bought it. So they didn't have enough out on the market for there to be problems. Sorry. I can't help myself. But, I mean, what's the percentage? There's no number. There's no percentage. I saw one story about the bricking, which was a regurgitation of like the one story was regurgitated on and on and on by a couple other sites. And the power. I mean, the bricking was the power. And I saw one that wasn't the power. So it was just probably something else. Which is, there's always a percentage of hardware failures and stuff. Oh, my bad, Dev. Now let me check what you're saying, man. DevNell44 says, I would love to get a good 54K TV under $5. A Samsung would be great. I think I went to Sam's Club yesterday, and they got some deals. I was like, wait, why is it? These TVs are mad cheap. You can get one for a 50-inch. You can get one for $5. Yeah, they might have a Samsung. Because the new ones are coming out, so you could probably get the 7 series, the 7000 series, which the new 7000s are as good as the 8s, and some, I don't know what the difference is, but it might not be like smart or something like that. Like, who needs a smart TV? You don't need a freaking. We have computers. You don't need a smart TV. Just get a regular TV with no smartness. Get your 4K HDR. Call it a day. Thank you. You don't need to add all that stupid stuff that make it broke. He also says some of those no-name 4K Ultra models had me looking. Hey, we got a Toshiba because it was cheap. Like I said, there's a 55-inch Toshiba. I don't know if it's HDR. You could check for that, but it's only $280. So I'm like, yo, that's like, you could get that and be like, there's my computer monitor real quick for $280 for a 55-inch 4K. Come on, son. That's why we bought that one, because I'm like, yo, when we get the real 4K up in here, that's going in my studio for real. Because I got this 40-inch 1080p that's going in my studio when I built it at the new place. I got these other two monitors. I'll put them somewhere. And then I'll have the 49 and the 40. Boom. Nice bigness everywhere. And I guess I'll put those two on the side. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Tiger Glass says probably because they put the power supply into the console. No, that's not why. Because the S is the same. Shadow Next Gen says they have a variation of a liquid cooling system in the X. Yes. And he also says mine has been running pretty cool and quiet. Yeah, yours isn't a crappy one. That's fine. Smart TVs are awesome. Don't hate. Look, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're unnecessary for us because we are on our smartphones. That this is a smartphone. It's smarter than your smart TV, smartphone. You know, we have computers. We don't need smart TVs unless you're just too lazy to have an Xbox or a PS4 hooked up to watch Netflix. You know what I mean? That's it. If you have a family room console, then you don't need a smart TV because your console adds that smart TV functionality to your TV. So that's what I'm saying. Like I have like Chromecast stuff on my TV, but we didn't hook it up because I'm like, well, it's just Netflix and it's the same stuff we're using. So why would I could just do it on the console? And that's the thing, you know. But if you don't have a console, it's good to have a smart TV. But we all have consoles, you know, so we don't need it. And you could buy a freaking $35, man. Come on, son. I think this should ixnay on the smart TV, yay. Shadow Next Gen says the Xbox One X also has an internal power supply. Yeah, that's what I said. Tiger Claw says if it's using liquid cooling, I hope the pump and the tubes don't wear out because of the and cause a leak. If the liquid inside doesn't evaporate, I hope it's not using water itself, but some liquid that will not evaporate. All right, let me explain to you how the liquid cooling works in the Xbox One X. It's not liquid cooling. It's a vapor chamber, like the graphics card used. I believe it's copper. It's a copper reservoir, right? And the way that it's shaped causes the heat to make it evaporate and circulate, cool, condense, go down. So it's self-circulating because of the heating and cooling of how that works, and plus the fans will cool it, you know, when it's. So it's a sealed chamber, vapor chamber. There's no tubes. There's no. It's all sealed from factory. Yes, vapor chamber. Look it up, Tiger. I thought you were a PC guy, Tiger Claw. You sounding kind of pedestrian right now. You sounding kind of elementary. You sounding kind of amateur, like the PlayStation 4 amateur, PlayStation 4 Pro. You know what I'm saying? You're the amateur one. You're the 2 levels. Everybody else is on 3 levels. Ice cream sandwich. You're on 2 levels. Open sandwich. Open cheese sandwich? I don't know. I don't know what you. I'd say tamale, but you don't make those anymore. Pace says, Esgee, I'm actually thinking about getting the X so I can feel the true power. Tycho says, I heard some liquid cooling systems would use distilled water, but don't know if that type of water evaporates. Yeah, yes, it does. Distilled water is just water that has already been evaporated, so it's just literally water. It's H2O and nothing else. No minerals, no salt, no nothing. Just H2O. That's what distilled water is. It's water. It acts like it's water. Is water. Acts like water. It will evaporate like water because it's water. Come on, Tiger Claw. You're acting like the PS Slim right now. That's not a diss on the Slim. Might be if you think. Anyway. But I mean, look, I'm gonna get an X. That's just my fate. Get an X. So I'm not like rush. I gotta get one. No. I'm gonna get one probably in January. You know, we gotta move. I gotta build my studio. There's a lot of things I gotta do first, which take priority over getting the X because I do have an Xbox and I can play the games. I'm not like I need, you know. But when I see these PS4 deals, I'm like, yo, that's a good deal right now. And then right now, like next year we got Spider-Man coming out, God of War, Last of Us 2. You know what? I might get The Last of Us 2 because I watched The Last of Us on Twitch and YouTube. I was like, I'm not gonna play that, so I just watched it, and I watched the end. I was like, okay, that's the ending. Peace. Peacemaker. Xbox done. How dare you? Arg says I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that though. But I was like, oh, okay. So but the thing, like I was saying last week, I appreciate Naughty Dog as a developer because they make intriguing cutscenes and stuff in games. But the tone of the game is gonna turn a lot of people off, and it's not like Horizon Zero Dawn to me is more of attempt, more of something I'm looking like, okay, I'm more interested in that because it's like fantasy. You're Aloy, you got Aloy, you got dinosaur robots. It's like all the kind of cool stuff. One complaint I'll say is that the Frozen Wilds, that new expansion, is kind of just more the same, which okay, but I don't know, man. I think they should have probably waited a little bit. Like maybe like the year anniversary and come out with something a little bit bigger, a little bit like an expansion, like how Destiny was doing it, or like how World of Warcraft is doing it. Treat Horizon Zero Dawn like one of those games or like The Witcher. They came out with like these crazy blood and wine and all. It's like, yo, these are like full games. These games, this is like a 20-hour add-on, quote unquote add-on. It's like, this is ridiculous what they're doing. And I don't know how viable it is for any studio to do that, but they did it. And they're the only ones I know of right now that's doing crazy big stuff like that. So, and hopefully it won't, what they did with The Witcher, hopefully will not affect Cyberpunk 2077, because I want a huge game like The Witcher, and like how the stories were connected and the quality of the stories and the acting, but in Cyberpunk 2077. And yes, that's what I want. Please give it to me. That's what I want. So I'll wait for that. I'm gonna have to, not like I have a chance. But when did The Witcher come out? 2015? No, The Witcher 3. Was The Witcher 3 2015? I think it was 2015. So 2018 be 3 years. Probably 2019, right? I'd say earliest 2019 for Cyberpunk 2077. Man, that's good. I'm sorry, I've been pace. Oh, you got disconnected. Shadow says, I'm sure the incredibly. Oh yeah, I read that already. I read it to myself, but I didn't read it out loud. So I'll read it out now. Read out loud now. And he said, I'm sure the incredibly smart engineers at Microsoft have that figured out. That's one thing I wanted to, well, not talk about, but acknowledge that the engineers, the very smart engineers at Microsoft, it's the same guys. It's the Surface team that's designing the X, the S. They designed the S and they designed the X. And if y'all don't know, I don't know if you guys know, but the Microsoft computer line, the Surface Studio, whatever one, that big one is called, all their computers they're very well made. Even the Zune, if you can make fun of it, because whatever, it was a failure, but even the Zune was a really well made little piece of machinery, little piece of kit. So that's one thing I don't think Microsoft gets enough credit for, is their hardware quality and design is really good. And I'm not sure if it's the same 360 team. I think it's a different team that started with the X, I believe. I don't even think that the OG Xbox One was developed by them, the hardware anyway. So Pace says, why would the tone of The Last of Us turn people off? It's The Last of Us. If you play the first The Last of Us, you know exactly what you're getting. No, I'm just saying, some people might not be in the mood for dramatic killing and violence. Well, I know Bridget isn't at any time at all. She never wants to see none of that stuff. But I do sometimes, right? But depending on what's happening in the country, I mean, maybe by the time it comes out, everything will be a little bit more happy and calm down. Hopefully, for the game's sake, because if something crazy, like say if a super, hopefully it doesn't happen, but say if hypothetically something horrible happens, a super mass shooting, domestic terror, so another plane flying in the building, whatever happens the day before or the day of or the day before the launch of this game, that might affect sales a little bit. I'm just saying, some people like it. I'm just saying it might affect it, and it's not about what the tone of the actual, like what people know of what the property is. It's just about what it is. It's something that people don't want to hear. Like if you're always in an environment where there's like arguments or something like that. Like for instance, I'll give you an example. Real life. I was at the ale house chilling with my boy and friends, and they started arguing about something just not even really, just kind of just like they're kind of pissed off at each other, so they're arguing. I'm sitting in the middle. And I'm like, I don't want to hear. If I wanted to hear this, I'd go home argue with Bridget, because that's what we do. So I'm like, why would I want to sit here and listen to this? I did not want to, but I didn't want to be a dick and just be like, all right, y'all arguing. I'm gonna go home and argue, because that's more important arguments. That's more insightful art. It's not insightful. I'm just saying I don't like arguing, but I'm just saying. Relationship type arguing, like the stuff we do here in chat is not really arguing. It's making fun of each other, which is fun. But yeah, no, that's all I'm saying. It's just some people just don't want to hear that at that moment. I'm not gonna say. I will probably guarantee Last of Us will be one of the top sellers for Sony, right behind Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is gonna be the best-selling PS4 game ever. That's what I think. Last of Us 2, I don't know, because I think there's going to start being diminishing returns on those games, because like Uncharted 4 was like the best Uncharted, and then they had the add-on, which was good, but I don't think it did Uncharted 4 numbers, and then Last of Us was, another game by Naughty Dog, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's different, but it's still the same quality as Uncharted, but now they're doing that again. So it's like, okay, is it going to sell as well, or is there going to be a little bit of diminishing returns because, people got enough from the first one, or, depending on what they do with the story. It's kind of like what's happening with The Walking Dead, diminishing returns. People are like, we're kind of done with that. Give us something new, And that's why Days Gone, I don't think that's going to do well. I don't think that's going to do. It might do okay, but it's not going to do Last of Us numbers. It's not going to do Uncharted numbers. It's not going to do Spider-Man numbers. It's not going to do God of War numbers. It's going to be at the bottom of the list of all those games that Sony has coming out. It's going to be at the bottom, because it's just, it's a new IP. Honestly, it should have been part of The Last of Us 2. That mob system, because basically, if you guys don't know, I know you know, but I'm going to say it anyway, because you guys are smart. But games are designed around mechanics. So they have a mechanic, whether it's a first-person shooter or a third-person action game that uses a zombie-like horde mechanic where you can direct them and stuff. Then, and they say, okay, we have this mechanic, this is how it works, let's build a story around it. That's what they do. That's how they make games. That's how you have to make, like, what kind of game you gonna make? A game with a story. Like, well, how do you play it, though? Gotta have a mechanic first. So that's what they do. So they could have just put that mechanic in The Last of Us 2, right? Not even like the whole game, just part of the game where it's like, oh man, this is the horde chapter where there's 159 billion zombies and you gotta, that'd have been dope. But instead, they broke it out into its own game, and it's almost like it's cannibalizing on that. The Sony's Last of Us zombie genre, that post-apocalyptic zombies genre, and I don't know if that was smart, I don't know if Days Gone is a strong enough title to live in the same ecosystem console space as The Last of Us 2. Well, Last of Us as IP. I mean, it's not, because it's not gonna. Days Gone will not beat The Last of Us in any respect. It's not gonna be a better game, and it's not going to perform better. It's not gonna sell as many. So, like, what's the point? You know, that's the thing. So, and it was missing. It wasn't at whatchamacallit, PSX. So I was like, well, wait, where's Days Gone? What's going on now? You know. So I don't know. We'll see. Pace says Shadow Next Gen, like the incredible smart engineers that developed the Red Ring of Death on Xbox 360. Ha ha ha. Well, like I said, I don't think it was the same engineers on those things. I think they shifted over to the Surface team. I think Surface team does all the Microsoft hardware, whether it's Microsoft computers, Surface, Xbox, they do it all. Except for, well, see, I don't know about the Surface, the rumored Surface phones. I'm not sure what they're doing with that. I mean, I know everybody's making fun of, you know, Windows Phone are dead or whatever, but I like this phone, man. I just uploaded some pictures. All the pictures on my Instagram are done with that phone. I've had the phone for like 3 years now. I'm not getting rid of it because I got 4K camera on it. I'm good. And I took a picture of little Stevie, so that's good. Kaijudo says SG sounded more and more like Fox News station when it comes to PlayStation, PS4, Microsoft. So wait, what? I'm talking about buying a PlayStation 4. I don't know what you're talking about, Kaijudo. I don't know what you're talking about, Kaijudo. I'm talking about buying a PS4 because, you know, I want to play Spider-Man. And we watched Spider-Man Homecoming. We got the Blu-ray. I'm like, this is you know what? Spider-Man Homecoming is way better the second time. At home. Where you can get all the little jokes that you like, oh, snap. He said, oh, I don't remember him saying. There's a lot of funny stuff in there. And you realize the guy who directed it, the Watiti Kwakiki, whatever his name is, the Kiwi dude, he's like a comedy director. He's not an action director, so it's good, man. And that's got me hyped for Spider-Man the game. Although I know that Spider-Man the game won't be as good as Spider-Man Homecoming. Come on, let's be real quick. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man ever. You know, and the fact that they're not using the MCU Spider-Man's MCU universe for the Spider-Man game, kind of. I mean, it's not a big deal, but what is it? It's the comic, right? So he's older. He's out of college. I think he's more like Osborn, actually, Oscorp. You know, if you want to be real, right? I guess. So he's got is that what it is? He's got his own like lab and stuff. I don't know. See, I'm like I don't care. And would Peter Parker? I guess he would be a scientist, right? Even though he was a journalist, but that was just to make ends meet. But he's smart enough to be, because he's making the web fluid. I mean, that's why I like Homecoming, because he's making the web fluid, and he's just a cool dude. I like Tom Holland. He's good. I like him. They did a good job with that. But anyway. But that's one game that's got me a little hyped, is Spider-Man. You took a big leap with your Last of Us terrorist connection. What terrorist? I didn't say terror. I'm not talking about, well, you know what I mean. And it's not a big leap. It's about the mood of the public. If someone's in a bad mood, they don't want to, absorb or witness anything that'll make them in a worse mood, right? So if you see some random acts of violence and you're in a bad mood, do you want to go play The Last of Us and see more violence? No. Video games are escapism. If you're already getting it in your daily life, you don't need that type of content. If you break it down as just content, you got to balance it out. That's why some people just like comedies, because their life is ridiculously rough and stuff, and they need to laugh. And so that's why I subscribe Def Comedy Jam to all of you, so you can laugh and have fun. That wasn't a huge leap. It wasn't a huge lap either. Although there might be some. Well, all the huge laps left Fox already because they're getting in trouble for showing their laps off to all the ladies. Hey, I'm doing it live. Look at my lap. I'm fired. That's how it goes. That's the 3 steps working at Fox. But no, I'm just. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like what you're saying, like terrorist connection. Like, oh, my dog died today. I don't want to play The Last of Us. My dog died. I want to play something happy. Or I just want to veg out and watch some funny stuff on TV. You don't want to play drama, violent stuff when something dramatic has happened to you already. That's part of the PTSD stuff. Like, if you have PTSD because of wartime, you're in Vietnam or whatever, you tend to not want to hear explosions and gunfire. And for some people, fireworks on the 4th of July kind of are the same thing. I know somebody who's like that already. He's a war vet. He's a Vietnam War vet. And I see him every 4th of July, and he leaves every time before it gets dark. He's like, nope, I'm gone. See y'all later. Peace out, homies. Good to see y'all later. And he leaves because he doesn't want to be around all those, boom booms and stuff. And that's what I'm saying. It's not about that was just an example I used, but it's not just about that. It's about the trauma that's happening, that's inside your brain. You don't want to activate it. You don't want to, you got to alleviate it. You got to balance it out. So that's all I'm saying. So you can use whatever trauma you want. Like, oh man, got into a car wreck. My car's all messed up. You gonna want to just jump into a nice hot game of Burnout Paradise, crashing stuff? Probably not. You might want to play some Forza because you can recreate your car and you can't really smash it out. Oh man, it's raining again. It's raining and I'm in my garage, and I had to break down the wall so you can hear the rain now really good, probably. So that's ambiance, man. It's like, oh yeah, it's a nice night for rain tonight. Let's have all the flip flops and the slip slops for you. Sorry, but yeah. So that's one thing about those games. And like I said, hopefully nothing's going down at the time of its release, and nothing better comes out. Like for instance, Call of Duty comes out, right? I think Wolfenstein came out a week before Call of Duty. I think everybody's talking good stuff about Wolfenstein. Like Wolfenstein, the new Colossus is crazy. It's so good. Oh my God, this game is. I'm not hearing the same thing about Call of Duty. All I hear is Call of Duty's Call of Duty's Call of Duty. Nothing spectacular about Call of Duty. And it's Sledgehammer. That's one of the good studios, right? Supposedly. Well, them and whatchamacallit. I can't remember the other one. The other one is WoW. Oh, forget it. I'm not gonna try. But if it's kind of like what happened to Tomb Raider when it was Titanfall 2 when they tried to come out between the Battlefront Call of Duty. Battlefield Call of Duty. It's like, no, that's not what you do. I know you think you're hot stuff, Vincent Pella and Titanfall, but you don't release next to the biggest game. Call of Duty is the biggest game. The thing is that Wolfenstein is so good in comparison that, and it's unique. It's not like it's regular World War II. Yeah, it's alternate history. It's Nazi. It's relevant because Nazis are in America right now. Well, they've always been in America, but I'm just saying they're prevalent in America. They're in the spotlight. They're out of the closets. They've come out of the shadows, and you can buy a game today where you can just shoot a whole bunch of Nazis, and that's kind of cathartic for some people, right? Murdering each other to survive the cordyceps apocalypse. I don't know if no one can relate to that because there hasn't been a zombie apocalypse yet. And even if there was a zombie apocalypse, I don't think anybody would want to play a game about the zombie apocalypse unless it's centuries old. That's like, if 9/11 just happened, you'd be like, oh, let's play a 9/11 game real quick. Like, no, that's not. It's too soon. It is too soon. Oh man, Eddie Griffith was at the at the Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary. He did a Michael Jackson joke that I cannot. I'm not gonna do it. It was funny. I was like, oh, okay, because he used to do all that Michael Jackson dancing and stuff, in his act back in the day. He did one so, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. It was so funny. Oh man, yeah, it might be on YouTube. Look it up. The Eddie Griffith Def Comedy Jam 20th anniversary Michael Jackson joke. I don't know if it's there, but that he killed it on that one. That was a good one. My mouth was open. But anyway, but even though The Last of Us 2 is grim or whatever, I'm still intrigued. I hope they do a thing or take a page out of like The Walking Dead and they explore different characters, because I think the video cases. I remember those years when Eddie Griffin was a big deal. Just like the Xbox Ones. Oh, Xbox Ones was very funny. Why didn't you put that in all games chat, Billy? don't be pointing that garbage on my Switch, on my mixers. But I'm just saying. Maybe lose my train. But yeah, no, I'm gonna get it. But like I said, I want them to explore different characters, like the muscle lady in that video. I was like, okay, that's cool. People like speculate, oh, that's Ellie's mother, and blah blah. I'm like, it doesn't have to be her. All these people don't have to be related. I mean, sure. And also, we all know Ellie is immune, right? And they were gonna scoop out her brain or whatever at the end of the first game to make an antidote. That was the whole thing about the end. I'm not gonna tell you what actually happened, but yeah. Devno says I just bought Wolfenstein and it's still in the wrapper. Come on! Oh wait, you waiting for it to give it on the X-Mass? That's all right. It's a good game. I haven't gotten it yet either. I'll probably look at a deal. Black Friday deals are too good to give up. I'll probably buy another controller. You gotta get a controller every year, because they wear out. Even though mine's pretty good. I wanted to get a white one for a long time, so I get a new one. But yeah. There's one. I have a Call of Duty Ghosts. I bought that for like $7 a long time ago for the Xbox One. I never opened it. I never played that one. I was thinking like if I get the X, that would be like the first game I buy. Like let's look and see how this game plays is better. I probably won't do that. But yeah, I wanna see what they do, because basically what they did for the first game, they did the father-daughter dynamic, where Joel lost his daughter in the beginning of the first game because humans are stupid, basically. And that was tragic and blah, blah, blah. And so now L comes around and he feels like he needs to protect her or whatever. So he kind of, that dynamic kind of exists with those two. I mean, there's things they can do with that as well, but I want them to explore. I mean, they have an opportunity with The Last of Us to do something similar to The Walking Dead, but better. Because I think Naughty Dog might be a better storyteller than what The Walking Dead does. Because The Walking Dead is like their group of survivors, Rick and them, Carl and all of them, and they go from place to place. And they wreck shop. They're just survivors. They're trying to survive, but they end up killing everybody around them in order to survive. And then, time for us to go because the zombies found us again or whatever. We can't stay here no more. We got to go. So, it's more about human versus human, and the zombies are just a setting. And that's the same thing they can do with The Last of Us. I mean, that's what you kind of have to do. Debnell says, getting a $10 Visa gift card because I purchased the Wolfenstein 2-pack. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I think I might have like a birthday gift certificate in like Best Buy in my email. I gotta check. Billy, okay, the vapor chamber is where they keep all the exclusive games because they're vaporware. Oh, that was That's like a dad joke. That's like a cool dad joke. It's like a dad joke in like another generation, like a millennial dad. That's like a millennial dad joke. Like the millennial dads would be like, "Oh, vaporware," and then the kids would be like, "You're such a dad," and then they'll freaking hologram off or whatever they do in the future, like press a button, and they'll just disappear. I'm leaving. Just vaporize. Like, what? You come back here. I put a dampener on your vaporizer. You can't go nowhere. But why are you doing that, Dad? Because you got to listen to my crazy millennial dad jokes. Vaporware. Are you done? Okay, you can go now. And they leave. I know, right? I'm looking for those deals, Dev. No, I'm looking for the deals. That's why the Black Friday is looking, it's looking yummy to me. I'm like, is it time for Stevie? Is it time for Esgee to get a PS4? I hate speaking in the third person, but sometimes I gotta do it. It's so. I'm sorry. Is it time for me to get a PS4 this Black Friday? Is it time? What do you think, Billy? Okay, should I get a PS4 for $199 Black Friday? Pace, should I get a PS4 for $199 Black Friday? Kaijudo, I'm not gonna ask you. Shadow Next Gen, should I get a? Nah, I'll ask you too. Everybody in chat, should I get PS4 Black Friday? Get a PS4, sure. Says Billy. Okay. When is Spider-Man coming out? Actually, that's a good question. Cause the PS4 right now is $249. Is it $249? Devino says no. Don't worry, I'm getting the X. Come on, man. I want to play Spider-Man. That's my weakness. Insomniac Games, they make good games. I don't think they've made a bad game. All the games are good, and Spider-Man looks good. I mean, it doesn't look super great. Like I said before, I like the writing in Sunset Overdrive better, and the character, the faces. Oh my god, the faces on Spider-Man. I'm like, gotta put that mask on, son. But it's Spider-Man, so I don't know. We'll see. And Horizon, I'd like to play Horizon. I mean, it's like I said, it's like a handful of games that I'm like, yeah, and I can't play anywhere else. So I'm like, okay, so Spider-Man, Horizon, Last of Us 2, depending on the mood. What else? Gran Turismo kick rocks because they can't even touch Forza. So it's like the exclusive racing game for the PS4 not gonna get it. I'm gonna have a PS4. I'm not even touching Gran Turismo. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Won't be prudent at this juncture. Not gonna do it. So Billy says, I thought Crackdown 3 was your Spider-Man. Nah. I think they took Crackdown back and said, look, we need to fix this and this and this, and the animation and the gravity need to be better. They needed it, yeah. Now, Crackdown, see, the thing about Crackdown, I think what they did, I think they went back and made a super dope, they beefed up the single player to actually make it better than the first. The first Crackdown, the single player was hot garbage. I didn't like it. It was dumb. I was like, it's just generic boss, go get him, agent. I'm like, okay. Climbing into the tower and doing all the stunts with the Transformer cars, that was dope. And getting all the orbs, that was the game. Everything else was stupid. So they needed to fix everything else. Crackdown, more like letdown, says Billy. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't all of that, but it was enough to be like, oh, this is fun, yay. But they needed to come more with that, like now. And since Angels and Mayhem came out and was literally like a Crackdown game, except single player, it looked way better. And I think it looked cool. I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then it didn't do anything. Nobody liked it. And I was like, if nobody likes Angels and Mayhem, nobody's gonna like Crackdown 3. Nobody's gonna like Crackdown. But okay, says Crackdown 3 was awesome. At the time, it was pretty good for the reasons that I stated. But now in 2017, 2018 now, needs to be way better. You give me a really good story, then okay. You give me some antagonists that are like have characters. Like the thing about Crackdown 3 is that it has the opportunity to do wonderful bad guys. It's like you have it's like Ninja Scroll, right? You know, you got Ninja Scroll, you did Ninja Dude, I forgot his name. And he's just doing boss battles. He got the Bee Lady, and he got whatever else. All these, it's kind of like One Punch Man, where he's fighting all these just boss monsters. They could do the same thing with Crackdown, but they front. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, make these characters interesting. Give them like a certain attack mechanic or whatever. It's not that hard. If you're making video games, you make them different. Each boss a little different. Not as generic. Hire a few voice actors. Come on, son. You got the money. Microsoft, let's go. Billy says you ain't getting a better story in 3. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't think they have enough time to do it, but, you know, I can always dream. Billy says, the reason it was delayed was to cram it with loot boxes and loot. You know what I think they were working on is a battle royale version. I think they're working on that, actually. I think every multiplayer game from now until the end of time, if it doesn't launch or have a battle royale type of mode, and they're doing something wrong. I think Crackdown is the perfect game to have a battle royale. It's literally, it's kind of that game. It's kind of like PUBG. It's an open world. You know, you could put weapons and stuff in the world. It's already set up that way, and then you have NPCs running around, or you can just kind of take the NPCs out, right, and just have an empty, decimated. Oh, the bomb dropped, and now you guys, this is Murder Island, whatever. You know, they could do it. Right? I don't know what engine Crackdown's running on. Crackdown 3. If it's Unreal, then they're good to go. All they gotta do is click the plugin, right? Click the Battle Royale plugin, and then you're good to go. So, you know, come on, son. It'll be cool. Like, if Overwatch had a Battle Royale mode, right? And it wouldn't work with with Overwatch, but it'd be interesting. You know? If they made it, like, if they pushed it third person, you know, for everybody. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some game like I don't know. It's hard for me to think about Overwatch other than what it is now. But you know, as we remember, it was supposed to be an MMO. But then I was watching a thing on, I think it was on YouTube, where they said this is the increments of how Overwatch. I think they started in 2012, maybe 9. I think it started in 9, but in 12 they had like some stuff, and then they showed like the levels being built, and they showed the characters with like no animations. Like, oh, now we have Reinhardt, or oh, here's Trace. Tracer was the first. That's why I think she was in a lot of the early promotional stuff. But yeah, she was the first model that they used in their testing, basically. So, and then they had Widowmaker. That's her name, right? Widowmaker, Black Widow, whatever her name is. They had her skin, but they put her skin on the Tracer animations. It was funny looking. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting to watch that on the dev side. And then you kind of put it together like, oh, but yeah, and Crackdown. I mean, I know they're trying to tie into the original game, but they don't need to do that, because you look at the animations and stuff in the original game, it's like, that could be better. You know, the stuff that made that game cool wasn't like the jump animation and stuff. You could tweak that and make it better. But they kind of just emulated it and just made the graphics a little better. Pace says it was delayed because they didn't want to take anything away from the X. If it came out looking like shite on the X, people would riot. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I hope they do some super magic on it and throw some animators on it. Like, hey, Disney or somebody, come and help us. Get some Disney animators up there. Make the animation better, please. 5K at stake in HQ tonight. Heck. Oh. HQ. Are you going to win, Billy? Are you going to win? Well, they split it, right, for all the winners, so depending. I know, Billy, I'm ready. Y'all all playing, huh? Alright, cool. That's cool. Hope y'all win, though. Send me a game? No, don't send me nothing. Don't send me nothing. I don't like stuff. I gotta earn my stuff. Oh, yeah. But, yeah. So, and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about that now. Thinking about the PS4. Not because it's good. But they don't give me any choice. That's how they're selling systems, because like, oh, you can't play it anywhere else. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of smart, but I'm gonna begrudgingly hate play these games because I know for a fact that it will look better on the X. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, and the stupid controller I gotta use, the goofy sticks too close together. So many reasons why you shouldn't play a PS4. They're trying to monopolize your brain. But that's the business, right? So that's okay. But we'll see. I don't know. I might just be like, save my money for an X instead. It's better. I'll see. But when I get the studio, I'll probably put my old Xbox in the studio and put the X in the living room with the 4K until hate play. That's what I do. And probably put the X in the living room with the Super 4K until we get the new 4K. And I'll still keep it there. Maybe get another. Well, depending on how much when the prices drop, when the X is $199, then I'll get another one for. Now by that time the double X will be out. The XX, double XL. You know what I mean? The XL. Oh, if they call it the XL, that'd be dope. And it doesn't mean extra large. It means extra likable, extra lovely. Heck says F the PS4 and the X. All about Switch. The Switch. I don't know, man. Switch is doing good though. I'm glad, but the only reason why the Switch is doing good is because it's portable. If the Switch wasn't portable, it's just literally, it's like a Wii U. That's all it is. I think it might be a little bit more powerful than a Wii U, but I think it's a little bit. But it's just like 1.5 Wii U's duct taped together. So the only reason why the Switch is blowing up like it is because it's portable, and that's smart. But they are cannibalizing their own market because now they have to split their resources between 3DS and the Switch. Instead of making the Switch 3DS, DS, 2DS compatible, they went proprietary. All they had to do was make the Switch be able to play 3DS games just in 2D. That's all they had to do. And why didn't they do this? It doesn't make any sense. They would have, how many more Switches they would have sold? A lot more. Because everybody had 3DSs or 2DSs, whatever, but like, time to upgrade. And that's an upgrade. If you can play all those games on that thing, we running so fast, ridiculous. Well, it'd be emulated, but you know what I mean. But Nintendo's Nintendo, so. And now the bad thing about the Switch is that they can't go back to just a home console unless they get rid of the DS line, 2DS, 3DS, and the Switch becomes that. And then they go back to home consoles. But I don't think they will because they're making too much money with this. So they're going to this is what's going to happen with Nintendo and the Switch. And they're smart because of the architecture. All they have to do, because they didn't put the most powerful chip, the X1 chip, in the Switch, they can do the X, is the X2 or X, I don't know what they're up to right now, the NVIDIA chips. They can do all they have to do is upgrade the chip in that Switch. Just everything else is the same. Just upgrade the APU in it, and they're good. Minimal cost. The chips already exist. Super smart. So when the Switch starts dropping in price, like say the Switch is $199 at some point, then they'll come out with Super Switch 2, whatever they're gonna call it, with the new chip in it, super powerful. That's gonna be the new $299. Maybe then I'll get a Switch. I doubt it though. The main reason why I want to get any Nintendo thing is to play that 3DS game, but Switch is in 3D. I can't. Oh, my brain. But that's Nintendo. They're on another planet. I was gonna say level, but that's not quite. They're on a lower level. I'm tired today. I don't know what's going on, but Oh man. But yeah, so I it's like right now, like this year is gonna be pretty, um, pretty well regarded as a, one of those the best year of video games. You know, there's one every decade, right? So, was it 2007, 2017, 97? I don't know, all the sevens. Uh, but I think actually that's gonna change because the devs don't have to actually make new new games for new hardware because the hardware is basically staying the same moving forward. I don't know what Sony's doing. I'm just talking about Xbox right now. So Xbox One X is an example of how things will move forward, and they're pushing backwards and forwards compatible, and it's kind of the best thing because I was sitting there on my Xbox in the store, about to buy Crimson Skies, an original Xbox game. I never had that game. The one game I should have had that I never had. I have like most of the other games, like Fable. I got KOTOR. Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I got the remake, the re-up for that one on the one. Oh, sorry, Scooby. But yeah, that's something that's ridiculous, right? Like, why would you do that? And then Sony's attitude about it is like, oh, nobody wants to see those ugly games. And I'm like, that's not even the point of doing it. I don't think they understand why it's important, you know, as far as preservation. And it's your games. You don't dish your own game. You don't say, oh man, it looked horrible. It was garbage. Gran Turismo 2, 1 looks so bad now. I'm like, who is this Jim Ryan? Why does he still have a job? Did the Sony people in Japan actually read the stuff that Jim Ryan says? Because he should have been fired, right? They got mad pride. You don't freaking lose face like that. You don't dish your own stuff. That's like not honorable, right? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. So Sony's not about, you know, backwards compatibility in that respect, right? On the Xbox, you throw the disc in, and it says, "Oh, you got the license," and it downloads the game from the internet, you know, from their servers, which is smart. You know, it doesn't use any information other than you own this disc, so you get the downloadable game. You know, the disc is your key. Sony could do the exact same thing. Theoretically, they can do the exact same. I don't know if they're actually capable of doing it. I mean, you can't even change your ID, PSN ID, so who knows what they're capable of. But I'm just saying, in a hypothetical situation, in a dream world, Sony could do that. And they should do it. You know, instead, you know, what are they doing? They're doing these content deals with Activision and stuff. And is that really helping them? I mean, right now, I guess it helped them for this season a little bit. But what's happening now? Everybody's talking about the X. Oh my God, Digital Foundry every day. New video. Oh, this gameplay is better. Oh, this gameplay is better. And not even them. There's other people too. They're like showing us out. Oh, this gameplay is better. This gameplay is better. And then there's some out there say, oh, why do you really need it? Only you have a 4K TV. I'm like, you're so stupid. You know, you guys are trying. I give you credit for trying, but the power is too apparent. And if Digital Foundry's sitting there saying, oh, the PS4 Pro just can't cut it. Can't do it. It's not as good. Look at how muddy this is. And I'm like watching it. I'm like, okay, yeah, tides a turn. Basically, flip, flap, flop. You know, everything's flipped. So now Sony is in the position that Microsoft was in 2013, where they have the weaker console, the less strong, the not the best graphics. You know, and that kind of sucks for them. But my thing is like, how will it affect third-party relations with Sony? Like for now, since they have such a lead as far as units, I think it'll slowly change because more people are, a whole bunch of people bought the X. You know, let's be real. A whole bunch of people bought them. A whole bunch of people will continue to buy them because people bought the first Xbox One for $4.99. Why wouldn't they buy an X? Come on, son. It's like common sense. I bought the day one Xbox One. Why wouldn't I buy the X? It's whatever time more powerful. You know, it doesn't make sense for me not to buy it. It makes, yeah, I said it right? It doesn't make sense for me not to buy it. Yeah, I said the right double negative. So it's just a matter of time. Like I said, we're in a process of moving and stuff, so we gotta wait. I gotta wait. So, but yeah, I think that was about it. Crackdown, Anthem, man. And I'm interested. I mean, I'm kind of glad that Microsoft doesn't spill all the beans like Sony does, because I've known what Sony's been coming out with for like 2 years. I'm not exaggerating. 2 years. 2 years. You hear me? 2 years. So I'm like, and they had one new game at PSX, right? The Sucker Punch game, right? Okay, that's one new game out of all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, they make pretty cool games. They're not bad. So I think Sucker Punch. I think of Sucker Punch like a Remedy, where they're a good studio, but you know they're no Naughty Dog. You know, they're no. I guess I think 343 is a really good studio, and what they're doing with Halo on the X is ridiculous, yo. It's 4K 60, right? And I was looking at the Digital Foundry back and forth. I was like, okay. I remember playing this, and I remember thinking, man, this looks good. And I saw the X footage. I was like, okay. I don't know what I was playing or what my brain was saying. I guess I wasn't used to the pretty, like them PC dudes, because this new 4K update for Halo 5 looks ridiculous. I'm like, okay. That's crazy. And the fact that 343 and Coalition, all these studios are going back and hooking up these games with the 4K treatment is a testament to the dedication to Microsoft and their studios to squeeze out that juice, right? I mean, I would assume that Sony did the same thing with all their first party titles on the Pro. That's an assumption. I don't know. But from a lot of what I've heard, a lot of developers don't use the power of the Pro, or they patch it later. And that's why the perception of, oh, the Xbox One X is just going to be like the Pro, just a little incremental upgrade. But the reality is the X is way, way past that. And, you know, that's where we're at now. We have a new console out there, and it's raising the levels. It's raising the bar for what console gaming is. And now PCs are scrambling around because somebody showed side by side, which I hated because they literally like were just playing the cutscene for whatchamacallit, Battlefront 2, like the story, and I was like, what, are you not going to talk over it, or so you're just going to play it? I'm like, oh my god, I had to stop watching. I like got about a minute in, and I realized that he's just playing the freaking story cutscenes, and I'm like, okay, I want to actually play this and experience it. So what are you doing? But for the like minute I was watching it, it had a PC version and the X version, X1X, and I don't know what card the PC was on. What was it? I can't remember. I don't think it was a 1080. It might be a 1070. Was it 5? I don't remember what it was. But the PC had frame issues. It was not smooth. It was like stuttery and kind of choppy. I was like, I think the frame pacing is off on the PC version. And the X version was smooth, butter smooth. And the resolution, as far as the images, is identical. perfectly the same. I was like, well, the X version looks better than the PC. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this dude's rig might have been a little whack, so you know you can't tell. And that's another thing about PC versus the X1 X is that you don't have to be like, oh, I gotta get this graphics card, this RAM, blah blah blah. Make sure it's all. And I ain't gotta turn my computer. No, just the Xbox on. Boom, boom, boom. Sorry, you know, good to go. Simple, easy, my kneesy. So whatever. Heck says the anthem before Patriots and Broncos was decent, but not close skill. Anthem. I'm talking about the game. The video game Anthem. And I want EA to not be bad guys. You know what I mean? Like I heard the story about the Project Cars guy, the dev guy, how EA was gonna do a deal with them and buy them. And they just wanted to basically buy the engine, so they're gonna have a race car engine or whatever. And the dude, I've probably talked about this before. The dude broke off and made another company and made that company owners of the race car engine, in which his studio, which EA was buying, licensed from that company. So in the contract, EA could not have ownership over the third party technology, blah blah blah, right? So smartly they did that, set that up, so they still own they own the third party that created the technology for the game. EA can't touch it because it's a third party. They just bought the studio that licensed the third party that they actually own. It's so smart. It's so like devious business dealings. I'm like, yo, that's messed up. And I'm like thinking about EA. I'm like, wow, really, EA, you did that? And I was like, you know what? I that story alone makes me want to turn off from EA. It's like, oh, that's like finding out Louis C.K. shows his pee-pee and strokes it and stuff in front of ladies. Oh yeah, that happened. It's like when R. Kelly was peeing on people. You know, it's just bad. You're like, oh, I don't want to listen to your music anymore because you're a creep. You know, and like EA, you're kind of pee-pee holes. You're kind of bastards. I don't want to support you, but Anthem looks kind of delicious. And that's the conundrum I have myself. I don't want to. I might buy Battlefront 2. Only for the story. I'm not gonna like buy all microtransactions and all. So I just play through the story, maybe play a little ship stuff. And that's it. Don't go crazy on it. But you know, I'm getting turned off from EA. The more that I hear stories like that, I'm like, it kind of makes me sick a little bit. But you know, what are you gonna do? You gotta vote with your wallets. Decide. I'm undecided at this moment. Hopefully another company will come out and just make a better game. And honestly, if I think about it, I like Anthem the way it looks, but Warframe on Tuesday, tomorrow's Monday, Tuesday on the 14th, 11/14, they're coming out with the Plains of Idilion. Is that how you say it? For the Xbox, I guess for the PC, PS4 as well. I don't know, but for the Xbox, it was on. I loaded it up yesterday. I was like looking at it, and they have like a news feed in it. And I looked at the console in the game, and it said, Plains of Idilion coming out the 14th. I was like, well, what? Oh hell no, because that's my yo. If y'all don't know, Warframe is Destiny, basically. Except not as super polished, but it's fun as hell. So once that opens, because the Plains of Idilion is an open world, like it's like plains. It's like, because Warframe, when you go in there, it's just kind of like they're like maps basically. So you're either on a ship or you're on like a frozen place, and there's only certain places you can go. It's not as open as you would like it, but this Plains of Idilion or whatever, however you say it. Is open, more open. There's like these giants walking around. You have to kind of beat them, like Shadow of the Colossus style, kind of, but not really. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, okay, I think I'll be down with this right here. And I'm trying to like find blueprints, so I don't have to buy anything with real money. So it's a slog. You gotta like Warframe. You gotta play every day. Get your money. Get your drops. Get your equipment and stuff. So you know parts to build. It is a grind, and I'm not too keen on grinding. Depending on the gameplay. That's why Destiny's so good, quote unquote good, because the gameplay loop is so good. But yeah, I'm not. I mean, people are already done with Destiny 2 already. I'm like, what? It just came out. Why? How you done already? Like what? So, is that how they're gonna do their game? Basically, it's just gonna be you know 1 month and then you're done and then you gotta wait for the expansion and then it's up and then it's down, up and down. You know, is that what Destiny is becoming? Instead of something where you can play constantly. Is it because the level cap is too low? Or is it just the replayability isn't there? Like, I think about Grand Theft Auto online, and people play that because it's just fun. There's no, you don't. I mean, there are missions and stuff, but it's they can do the same thing in Destiny, but it's more like Destiny is better because you have the loot system, so they can have more hooks. But if they put an open world like Destiny and put in the hooks of all the things you can do in a Grand Theft Auto game, I think it's possible. I don't think Bungie wants to downgrade their sparkly bits of physics bloop leaps to make any game like that, like open world. They can't make a game open world with all the physics calculations they need to do. They can't even do 60 frames per second. Come on, son. So yeah, there's something about Bungie that I think their whole idea of how they make what kind of game they're making and how they're making it is gonna hold them back because they're sticking to that gameplay loop, right? Which is fine, but they're sticking too close to that, and they're okay. We got a loot system now, but yeah, but I wanna play more, but I don't want to play the same thing over and over again. What you got for me? If it was open world, it would be better, but they're not gonna do that because it would affect the way the game looks. It wouldn't be as flashy and all that stuff because you can't. It's hard to have the streaming world coming in and have all the physics and stuff happening. I'll assume. I mean, the worlds aren't super small, so I don't see why they couldn't do it. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, Anthem. I mean, Anthem is the one game that might have a chance to knock Destiny off. But then you have games like PUBG where they could essentially do a thing where it's I mean, they could probably have a server where it's a persistent world server, right? So you can level up and get good weapons and stuff. I mean, that's possible. That might be something that they look into because PUBG seems to me like a World of Warcraft or a Minecraft type of thing where that's gonna be around for a while, you know. And you look at Fortnite and they did the free update, and I played it a couple times. Like, okay, yeah, it has the flavors of a PUBG, but it's definitely more lighthearted, and the building and all that stuff is different. So yeah, it's not exactly the same. But like I said, if PUBG goes the route of, hey, you want some loot, here's some persistent levels, level it up. You get some vehicles, level that up. Have a little garage. You want to spawn with your vehicle, go ahead. Or no, that wouldn't work. Would that work? I mean, there's way different things that they can do, right? Like for instance, it's an island, right? So maybe everyone spawns in boats all the way around, equidistant circle around the island, right? So, the closest point from the boat to the land is equidistant from each other and equidistant from land. Um, you know, and they can figure that out with numbers. That's another way that you can start the game. You start off on a boat, boom. If it's teams, it's easier. But if it's just 100 dudes in boats, I mean, that might hurt the server or hurt the performance. But they can figure that stuff out. So if they did that, that'd be cool. And there was a game. There was an open world game. I don't remember what it's called, where you can build your own ships, and it was crazy. But I don't remember what it's called, so I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. But there's people making. Oh my god, sorry. A lot of people making good stuff, so that's cool. I'm out. I'm out of gas. I'm tired. I'm out of words to say. And look, I haven't talked that much poo-poo about PlayStation today. I said I'm gonna buy one, so you know. I think the Black Friday has gotten me. It's gotten to me. So we'll see. We'll see. Once again, I guess. Whatchamacallit? Go to, if you're gonna buy stuff on All Games, no. You buy stuff on Amazon, go to allgames.com, click the Amazon banner, and buy some stuff. You'll be glad that you did. Right. Oh, there it is. And what else? Follow me on Instagram, Lord Esgee, LORDESGEE. Twitter, R9Cast. Twitch, R9Cast. Mixer, Esgee on Mixer. I need more followers. I'm on 90. I'm almost got 10 more to get to 100. So tell your aunties and tell your cousins from Guatemala and wherever else. Just follow a brother. Follow a bruv. And hopefully we'll have we'll have more stuff to talk about, because you know X just came out, so we got good stuff going on, and I'll keep you updated on the PS4 stuff. Thank you, Dev. Groovy night, sir. Thanks for the stream. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you, Tiger Claw, Hecht, Billy OK, Pace as always, Kai Judo as always, all you guys in All Games chat, Scott Rubin, Derek H, of course. I said Tiger Claw already, because sorry. But yeah, I think I get, where's my thing at? I think that's about it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I'm trying to think. I think I'm gonna play some Xbox tonight. I'm gonna do a little Cuphead, try to get off that first island. I'm still on the first island. Yes, I suck. And maybe something else. I don't know. I gotta see. There's some bigger games I want to kind of dip into a little more. I'm not too sure which ones, but I got them all on my hard drive. You know what this thing that sucks is, like, one last thing and then I'll go. I was gonna try out the backwards compatible stuff for the OG Xbox, but I packed up all my games. I packed up all my game collection, so I'm like, ugh, I don't want to dig in the boxes. So I'm gonna wait until I get to the next place. But I think I will buy Crimson Skies tonight and play that, maybe. Yeah, I think I will. I'm gonna fast forward that song. I don't like that song. But yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah, all right, guys. World War II. Oh, true. We'll find you on Mixer for that ad. I appreciate it, Dev. No, World War II. Yeah, definitely. I'll add you back too. Definitely follow you. Are you gonna stream it on Xbox? Well, when you get the X though, you gotta stream it on the X though, because I'd definitely like to watch that. Def. But all right, y'all. Tilt the weight. When is the music gonna play? All right, All Games. Latest. How come I don't hear it? Let me see something here.